Hi, my name is Phillip Lee. Thank you again for the opportunity to share a little bit about myself. I was actually born and raised in the Washington, D.C. area all the way through high school, and then came out to Chicago for Bible college as well as seminary. And currently my wife and I are serving at a small church here in the Chicago suburbs. My wife in the children's ministry and myself in the young adults ministry. One of the hardest things that I had ever gone through was boot camp in the Army's chaplain candidate program in Fort Jackson, South Carolina. And I remember on one of our training days, towards the end of our training actually, we had this obstacle course, and we had a 15-foot wall that we had to scale as a team. And so we could only use pretty much the tools that we had in front of us, which was basically our belts or part of our uniforms. And I was the last guy to go, and I remember as I was pulling myself up by my friend's belt, Chaplain Sandell, I was about 3 feet away from the top ledge, and I just couldn't make it because it was out of reach. And Chaplain Sandell said, you know, just jump and try to grab onto my hand. And so with all my strength, I reached and grabbed on barely to his fingertips, and my 160-pound weight was just hanging by his fingertips. And I remember, I'll never forget, he was looking straight at me, and we were all drenched in sweat, and he said, you know, Philip, I'm not going to let you go. I'm not going to let you go. And he pulled me up by his fingertips and then, you know, grabbed my arm and then got me over that ledge. And I tell you, there's a special bond of trust when it comes to friendships that are born out of hardship. And that was one of the hardest experiences in my life, definitely during boot camp, but it was also one of the most rewarding as far as the relationships that was born out of that experience. One of the most influential heroes in my life is definitely my dad. He immigrated to the States in the early 70s from South Korea, and he's been a blue-collar worker all his life. But the reason why he's such a hero and role model to me is because of his humility. He's always been a person who never really cared about possessions, never really cared about public opinion or what people thought about him. But he did care most about what God thinks, and most importantly what our family thinks as well. He's always been extremely responsible, just as a breadwinner for us. He's always provided for our needs before his needs, and just has an extremely impressive work ethic of just perseverance and never giving up when he sets his mind to something. And he's just one of my best friends who I can always talk to about anything. So definitely my dad is one of my top heroes in my life. One powerful experience that has recently shaped my perspective on basic needs has been meeting a family at work. And I have the opportunity to serve as a social worker for a child and family services agency. And as a case manager, I was assigned to this one particular family where the mom and her 3 children are separated because of neglect and domestic violence. And this mom recently had her 4th child a month ago. I get a call from mom one day telling me that she's leaving her house because her power got shut off. And she wasn't able to pay her electricity bill, and also her water was shut off because she wasn't able to pay her water bill. So now she's on the street looking for housing. And as her caseworker, it's my job to try to find services, try to find some sort of temporary shelter where she can live and take care of this baby and provide for the baby's basic needs. And as I'm driving around trying to search for this mom because her cell phone is, you know, working on and off, and she's not able to pay her cell phone bills, and when I finally track her down and she's staying at her friend's house, who's not willing to keep her for more than a day or two, you know, I see this desperation of trying to hold on to at least this 4th child I see this desperation in her voice. I see it in her whole demeanor. I see it in her eyes. And just being able to place her in temporary housing was one of the most rewarding experiences, but one of the most painful experiences as well. And I remember coming back home and walking through the doors of my own house and talking to my wife over dinner about this experience. I felt spoiled. I felt spoiled that I had electricity in my house, that I had water, that I had a comfortable couch that I could sit on, and just being able to compare how I view basic needs and meeting these families and what they are going through with their basic needs. I mean, we all know that food and shelter and these things are givens. But when these things are taken away from us, when these things are threatened, when I see these individuals where their basic needs are barely being met, is something that just allows me to think before sharing the gospel message how important it is to have our basic needs met. And so it's a tremendous privilege for me at work to serve these families in a variety of capacities so that they can be provided basic needs. Thank you again for the opportunity to share about myself and some recent experiences that I've gone through. If you have any more questions or comments, please feel free to contact me by phone or email. Thank you so much, and God bless.